Good morning from the top of Hoosier Pass. Today we're going to be hiking Centennial and 13er Mount Silverheels. For a full hike review of Mount Silverheels, you can go ahead and check the link below. Got a special guest with me today, Juno. This is a dog-friendly hike year-round, although I would recommend waiting until maybe spring or summer to bring dogs if they don't have experience in the snow. Mount Silverheels is a 13er. It's about 13.8, I believe, and the hike is from Hoosier Pass here, so it's about 2,000 feet of elevation gain over about 9 miles round trip. Whenever you talk about spring or winter or even summer hiking, accessibility is always key here in Colorado, and Mount Silverheels checks that box pretty well. So Hoosier Pass, which is located between the tiny little town of Alma and Breck, is accessible year-round. Of course, during the winter there are sometimes closures because of snowfall, but this is also a great hike because the avalanche risk is almost non-existent as long as you stay on the general path to the summit. Like many Centennials and 13ers for that matter, there isn't really a defined trail on this hike. So route finding and using a map or GPS is very important on this one. What a good girl. So after you have a little short hike from the parking lot here, you'll have your trail, which in the summer will be an old four-wheel drive here in view. And basically you're kind of going to want to round this and then work your way up to that point there. As you can see, this area does get very windblown, so it's a good spot to take dogs in the spring, winter, as long as the snow isn't super deep. Some fantastic views of the 14ers up here. Quandary right center there. Lincoln is the one with the little point. Bross, the rounded one to the left. And then a whole bunch of other 13ers. You got Fletcher Mountain, which is like right there. And then the 10-mile range to the north. Okay, from here, you're gonna wanna hit this little point right there, and then you'll have a really good view of the rest of your route. Once you get to this point, that is Mount Silverheels. Basically, you're just gonna go down and then up 1,000 feet right there, and then over to the summit. Whew, all right. Beautiful, beautiful day up here today. Absolutely beautiful. A great look at Mount Silverheels right in front of me here. So here's why you don't want to round these slopes back this way too low. As you can see, you'd end up in a basin and have to do a big gain to get to the ridge that you could just stay up high and get from up here. Look at that good girl, having a blast. So Once you round that first point back there, there'll be another one in front of you, and you're just going to want to ascend upwards to this one. Quick note about Mount Silverheels in terms of the weather. This hike is basically 100% exposed the whole time you're hiking, so if it looks like it's gonna rain, be really windy, thunderstorms, probably pick a better hike or a different hike, or come back a different day, because there's just no blocks from the elements up here in any direction. Once you hike the third little hump, the ridge will make a noticeable turn left. And at this point, you're gonna wanna go right. So, sorry, stability is tough with this dog, but that's the left I was talking about, and that's the right. And you'll see these big power lines, and you're gonna aim towards them. For reference of distance, it's about 2.5 miles from where I am here, this ridge, to go towards Mount Silverheels from the top of Hoosier Pass. Nature. Once you pass the power lines, you'll have one more hill here, and you can just go around it. You do not have to go up the top of it. And then it'll be straight up to the summit of Mount Silverheels. All right, finally here over the last hump, and so yeah, there again is not going to be official trail, but there's somewhat of a game trail, a loose trail, but you're basically just staying right up this. Once you've gained that final ridge there, you're just going to bang a left, and the summit of Silverheels is a short hike to your left. About halfway up these slopes. The first part is pretty steep, but the second part is like noticeably more steep. It is just a killer slope. So probably about another 200 feet or so until I get topped out here. And there's actually not a half bad trail. It's definitely like a very seldomly used, not like a 14er or anything like that, but you can make it out. But yeah, it's a steep hill here. As you get closer to the top, you're gonna want to bear right before heading back left. There's a cairn right in front of me, you can see, and then you're just gonna take the ridge back that way to get to the summit of Mount Silverheels. Summit of Mount Silverheels, 13.8 and change. Just about 4.8 miles to the summit from Hoosier Pass. So I got obviously a little bit off of a direct route maybe, because I'm gonna end up being about 0.6 miles over if I go back the same way, which I'm going to. But once again, beautiful up here. But yeah, beautiful hike. Definitely a great one for dogs, a good one to kind of get some practice at high elevation. From here, we gained about 2,950 feet. And then on the way back, we have to pick up probably, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 more, I would say. So definitely prepare for that, but some pretty cool views up here. You can see the mountains off in the distance behind me, the Front Range here in front of me, and then just the plains and the plateau kind of in between. It's just very pretty. It reminds me of almost the Sangre de Cristo range. So cool stuff. Yeah, nothing technical about this hike at all, really. It was beautiful in the sense that the trail conditions were not great. That hill to gain the ridge, right before you gain the ridge, is definitely the hardest part. But nothing, barely class 2, you know, some scree hopping rocks, loose rocks, things like that, but nothing most dogs shouldn't be able to handle, and most hikers as well. While the weather is beautiful and the wind is dying down, I'll probably wrap this video up here and leave you with some views and some peaks as well. Quick mountain tour here. You got Pikes Peak there. You got Evans, Bierstadt, Spalding all over there. You got the whole Gore Range all up in here. And then that is Pacific Peak, Quandary, Fletcher, and then of course the Decalibron over here. You can see down into the Elks. You got Snowmass. They're so tiny it's hard to point out, but very awesome visibility up here today. And Juno's loving this summit snow. So overall, this Centennial was pretty much what I expected. Mount Silverheels, 13.8 and change. It's like 96, I think, in terms of ranked official mountains here in Colorado. But a nice hike, and certainly one that, you know, you could definitely do year round as long as conditions, i.e. weather, allows. But really no avalanche risk as long as you kind of stay on the main pathway, even though there's not really a trail, so I say route maybe. But definitely always, of course, do your research, know what avalanche slopes are so that you can avoid them. For a full hike review on Mount Silverheels, how to get here, parking, all of that fun stuff, you can check the link below. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe not to miss any future hike related content, and we'll see you on the next adventure.